if the internet gods are with us, we will be streaming Battle Harden Minneapolis on Saturday. If the internet gods provide us the speed and the bandwidth to stream it to the world.
No, we're gonna be more confident in that because we've got like hundreds of feet of hard wire, so we'll run that shit to the Denny's next door if we have to. Like we're fucking
downtown
streaming
Minneapolis, like 4 miles to the nearest Denny's.
Whatever, you know what I mean? No, we are streaming Saturday. We're streaming the Battle Hardened. I'm finishing putting together the digital assets for it, and Blake and another local guy, Body, who's been on the channel, he's gonna be commentating with some guest commentators throughout the day. So, not to talk it up too much,
I'm probably gonna scrub out, so I'll probably be on there at some point. And you're gonna be judging it, right? You're the judge.
Yeah, I'm judging Saturday.
Are you wearing a yellow shirt?
No.
Okay, well, I'm just making sure. I might
actually go and buy a yellow shirt that's just unrelated to judging, just to have a yellow shirt on while I'm judging, just for you.
Jesus Christ, don't do that. Big news this week. All right, we're going to start off with the most important pressing news of the week. Fucking Wolverine's going to be on Deadpool 3 coming out in September of 2024. Did you see the trailer that Ryan Reynolds put out on Twitter today? Which we're recording this really early this week. But, oh my God, I about shat myself when I saw that. I'm so happy about that. It is the greatest thing ever.
That's so far away.
But Hugh Jackman is the Wolverine in the next Deadpool. And I don't even care. It's 2 years away. Yeah, it's 2 years. I will wait that 2 years with a grin on my face.
That's true.
So happy.
And it has to be him because they're like such good buddies, right?
Well, no, Hugh Jackman's in the trailer walking up the stairs and Ryan Reynolds goes, "You want to do it?" He's like, "Yep, I'm in." And he's just like very casually walking away. I'm like, oh, it's so good. So happy about that. I told my son, who will be in college next year, so in 2 years he'll still be in college. I'm like, well, I guess I'm coming to North Carolina because we're gonna have to go see that together. So schedule the flight for North Carolina to see that in September 2024. Super jacked up on that announcement. So it's probably the best news. I mean, you got anything else for this week? Got anything else? I mean,
basically covers
I'm good.
it.
Yeah, I'm good for the week. So yeah, thanks for all for joining us. I suppose we can talk about some other shit.
Yeah, I mean, there's some news.
There is news. I'm 2-1 in the Fab Fantasy League. I beat Evan, who administered all this. He thought maybe CeeDee Lamb was going to come back at the end there because Cowboys won, but nope. I pulled through again.
I feel like Evan has the worst team. And I feel, I know it's just like my bias, but I feel like I have the worst good team. Like my team should be good. I just lose every week by like fucking hairs on nuts. Last week, God, it wasn't Logan. I didn't play Logan last week.
I lost last week in a pretty good game. I put up a good fight in the loss.
Yeah, no, I was up. I got to look this up now actually because I feel bad not actually saying their name because it is another content creator and I want to make sure that I
yeah, I mean, I put up a ton of points and I still lost. I put up over hundo, so if I put up a hundo and loss, I'm okay with that. I put up over hundo every week so far in the first 3 weeks. Cody tried to make fun of my team. Whatever, Cody, bitch. I'm 2-1. We're in a 14-person league. I got Big Dick Joe Burrow throwing the ball to Jamar Chase. I mean, and I'm on Ross St. Brown. Come on.
Yep. I lost this week.
Carry me.
I lost this week. Ready? So my team, I've got Herbert McCaffrey, and then I've also got Edwards Hilaire, who's like doing really fucking good this year, and even my RB2s and wide receiver 2s and 3s and fucking flexes are like all putting up 5 points minimum, and my bench is regular hitting like 8. So I'm looking at my team and I'm like, how am I not doing well? and I played. So this week I lost by 0.73 points. 0.73 points. I get that win.
It's insane. You basically needed 7 more yards, 8 more yards out of any player combined.
By anybody.
That's it.
But no, last week Popo Mike. Who's Popo Mike?
Don't ask me. Why? Yeah. I mean, why would you put me on the spot like that?
I'm sorry, because I feel
bad. Now we're both bad. Now you just went like I'm taking you down with me. Okay, I don't know. I'm gonna throw this out there, and now we both go down. We're thinking now. We're sinking.
Well, I don't feel bad because he doesn't have any notes in his Discord profile either. But anyways, he had digs on me. I was up by 34 points. He had 1 player left. Monday Night Football. Both of our teams have played all the way out. I'm up by 34. Diggs has a 45 fucking point game. It's like, okay, cool. No, I didn't need one. I didn't need to win this one either. So, yep, I've got I feel like such a solid team. I was projected, not that the projections mean fucking anything, but I was projected to have a 96% chance to make playoffs and have I was seeded number 1 just from draft.
Yeah, that's what predictions would get you.
Yeah, I know. Projections are bullshit. It's terrible. But
yep. That's kind of how I feel about them.
At this point, I hope I submarine the whole fucking league. I want to lose every game now at this point.
In other news, there was 13 nationals this past week.
There were.
America was one of them. So that was crazy. Michael Hamilton comes out with the big win. I heard it was a soft Nats.
Who's Michael Hamilton again? Is he has he done anything before?
He's won a couple callings, I believe, but they were considered soft callings. So I'm considering this was a soft nationals, I heard. So, Tariq from Canada didn't come down to try to hold on to his. It's just a soft one now. Anywho,
I'm being facetious for the record. Michael Hamilton's been on the cast. Fucking awesome guy.
Oh, I'm not. I'm completely serious. Always. I never joke around about anything. So lots of different winners across the board.
Mm-hmm.
Meta seems like it's in a really, really good spot. Michael Hamilton, I don't know if I would. I hate in games like this, who's the best player in the world?
Yep.
And the answer to that is always whoever wins that day, right?
Yeah.
That's at that time, because there is no such thing as a best player in the world.
It's not static. It's never
right.
It's
always movement. Obviously, Michael Hamilton is one of the best players in the country because he consistently is at the top. A lot of the other top 8 players, this sounds bad, but I've never really heard of before. Not that, it's not like I'm sitting there watching fab results come in on a ticker to see who's winning and who lines up. The biggest one that caught my eye, though, was the 16-year-old kid. I believe it's Brody, correct? You probably don't even know because you didn't see.
I was in Montana for the last 6 fucking days. But
yeah, you were up in the mountains.
I was pulling a Mark. I was living in the middle of nowhere with no connection.
But that's just his daily life.
That's true. Yeah, I only did it for 5 days, and I'm like, all right, are we home yet? Can we go home now?
So yeah, young buck, 16-year-old topping, and I believe it was Brody. Just put a comment if I'm wrong. I apologize if I am, but I did see him play a couple of times. Very good player. Gonna be a rising. I'll put him as a rising star on that. So if you just want to check your pages for rising stars in the sport, we'll put him down. Is
that a projection? You making a projection there?
I don't know if it's a projection. I'm telling you how it is. I don't really make projections. I just tell you how it is. So that's just how it is.
I don't give projections. I give facts.
It's a fucking fact. Yeah, straight facts. That was crazy though. Icelander wins, and then the next day at the calling in Charlotte, you have 4 Oldhims at the top 8. But in nationals, you just had 2 Oldhims in the top 8. Pretty good mix. All except for Dromai. Dromai is interesting because I did see. I was just flashing around looking at lists. a lot of people are running the Mage Master. I'm gonna call her the Mage, Dromai the Mage, with Toma Faendals,
Yeah.
which is interesting.
And I mean,
But
it is a good, like, that combination has been around
yeah,
since
it
set
was a big
one.
Bravo combo. Yeah, I mean the Bravo combo Mage Master into
Yep.
that was amazing. So I mean I like it. I don't know how I would cut to make that deck work, and I could see the validity in doing that, gaining life, because she does like to gain life. So
Yeah.
just the whole yellow and all that. So I would love
I
to
mean,
see some of those matchups.
yeah, but if that's like your yellow, but I mean, I
Yep,
know that
they're
you
running
run other
3 of
yellows.
them. They're
Yeah.
running I run 0 yellows in my Dromai.
And the thing is like
0.
that's always, I feel like that's just like a splash card. Like you maybe run 2 because you want to see it, but
Yep,
like you
they're running
you
3.
don't run a place. But after Mage Masters, what's the play? Like, unless you get
Maybe just play it
Chromite.
out, get a big hand, gain the life, and then block out because she likes to block out. And then if you have
Chromite out, yeah.
well, if you have or you if you sigil and then play a bunch of dragons, you can end on a Toma Faendal drawing a big hand or drawing card. There's a lot of different plays with her just because the dragons add a whole different perspective where usually you'd always play Toma Faendal first, where this you can play later in the chain
I don't
to
know that you
have
want to
effect.
though, right? Because you want to have a hand still. I don't know. Anyways, it's
No,
really interesting.
you're
It's
gaining 2 life regardless, so it's not
yeah.
horrible.
I do think. Speaking of really interesting decks, be on the lookout. Can I say this? Can I say what we're doing? What Blake's doing with JMag? We
I
got
have
a
no
really.
idea.
Oh,
I think you can say
you
it's your part of, your part.
say
I
whatever
don't
you
are
want.
we owners? I don't know what we are of this. We're just
Yeah,
like,
we're
you can say whatever you
partners.
want, all right?
Yeah,
I can't stop you.
I'm gonna put the pressure on Blake and John because he's doing a deck tech for an Oldhim that did very well and ran Potion of Luck and Earthlore Bounty. And what did John place? Was 10th
It was
or was
10th,
it?
I believe. He
Yeah,
bubbled out. He was in
yeah,
he barely bubbled out.
yeah. Real wild tech, and he which he loves doing. He's super. We've talked about him before. He's super fucking innovative. So super interesting coming out in, I don't know, the next week. Be on the lookout for that. But speaking of, sorry, I just thought of that because of the interesting builds. I do love that we're seeing really unique builds. Which, I mean,
So
that's awesome.
what do you think about I gotta try to find. I wish I knew how many people were in that with Azalea making a top 8. So was that
Close.
Poland? Yes,
Yeah.
Poland, right?
Yep.
I mean, is that I
If
wish we
only.
knew. I wish you knew how many people were there.
I know.
Like how many
Yeah.
people were at oh wait, it tells you. Oh wow, look at this. I can just look and it'll oh, it's not on this page. I'm on the wrong page. Oh, there it is. So 85 person. So not a small, not tiny.
Not small,
So
but it's
85
also,
people.
I think it's worth noting that this is neither horseshoes nor hand grenades. So close don't count.
Right. I don't know what you mean by that, but I got you.
You've never heard
at the
that
same
saying?
time.
Is that just like a crazy? Is that a crazy saying that my grandpa and dad like?
What?
Close only counts
No,
in
I
horseshoes and hand
understand the saying.
grenades.
I don't
Oh, okay.
understand the reference to the top 8.
Didn't win. Ricky
Oh, it didn't
Bobby.
win. No, for getting the prize. No, it did not win. But it did top 8, which is
No,
something
that's actually amazing. I didn't realize that
something
this was going to be
talk
like
about.
this drug out. I thought it was just going to be a quick comment and move on, but I'll explain.
I just like looking at the list, like things that I've tried, because I've tried Azalea a ton.
Try shot.
Yeah, I tried it and couldn't get it to work. So obviously, looking at their list, I can see where maybe it works with this list. I didn't run rapid fire. I wasn't running 3 of kind in my Azalea, so I can see where you could get value. You're gonna have to pitch stack a little bit. I mean, I don't want to luck into that draw, but once again, it's hard to pitch stack with Azalea. So I would love to have seen some of those games.
What was like the defense reaction count?
high. It was very high.
So
We're
they're playing control second
yeah, they
cycle
got
shit.
3 fates, 3 sinks, and 3 take cover. So 9 D reacts.
Yeah.
So they're not just they're setting up. So they're taking their time to get those big turns, because I mean, you get a big turn with her hit effects on, Red and the Ledgers and Remorseless. It's in Seek and Destroy is just a lot of good cards that anytime you can not have your person have an arsenal, I think is huge. There's nothing worse than sitting across an aggro deck with 4 cards in an arsenal because they just took everything. Because you're going to take 30 damage.
They had Memorial Ground?
Yeah, doubled up on the Memorial Grounds.
So 6 total? 2 colors?
No, just 2 yellows. Just
the
yellows.
Okay. Because I was going to say there was that Azalea build floating around that was just recycling Red and the Ledger. No, I don't know Azalea cards good enough. What's the one that gives you 1 action?
That gives you
the
Red
arrow.
Ledger. Red and the Ledger, you only get 1 action.
Yeah,
Red and the Ledger.
So Red and the Ledger, that like just basically recycled Red and the Ledger over and over and over again.
Right. It's the Red and the Ledger is the best card in the game with the worst hero. I mean, it's the best card in the game. It's got the best on hit effect there is, period. 1 action, not taking away go again where you could blank or gain action points or time snaps. It's 1 action, period. Regardless of any other shenanigans, you get 1 action.
Yeah.
Best card in the game. Fight me on it. I don't care what you say in the comments. It's the best card in the game. It's just with a bad hero. What do you do?
Yeah.
So going through a lot of the Nationals results, seeing some Viscerize pop up to Indonesia, 36 person. Ireland with a 19 person Nationals. I didn't even know Ireland had a national championship. Sorry, Ireland, didn't know about it. Do we, if you look at our analytics, do we have any Ireland listeners that you know of? Have you seen anything in
I can look on
the analytics?
I can look on our Podbean, but I do not get that info from YouTube specific.
I thought we used to see the countries on YouTube.
That was Podbean. That was for our listeners, which I can find out. Just continue on and I'll let you know.
Yeah. New Zealand, a new no-namer, Matt Rogers, took first place. Just another new guy to the scene. Never heard of him before. He wins with Oldhim.
Just took a gap year. He just takes a gap. He took a gap year. Was all it was.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he won the 2020 New Zealand Championship and then just disappeared. There was this big rumor about some
Matt
big
Rogers
fab school.
Disappeared.
He disappeared, just gone. Not winning. He came over to the U.S. Couldn't win anything over here against the U.S. players. Then there was this rumor that him and some Australian feller were gonna come out with a fab school and teach people how to play the game. They didn't win anything.
It's fake news.
It fell to the wayside. There is a rumor that
your
Australian did win nationals, and Fab School may be back. We'll see. I mean, I will say I tried to invite the Australian on to this show.
He's gotten too big,
and he's like, "No, you're just way too big." He's like, "No. I'm going on these Australian people's channels. I'm not doing America."
Yep.
And you know what it is? I think he's salty because when he came to America, he just couldn't beat the Americans. He just couldn't come over here and win. So he doesn't want to come on an American, commentary with us and a podcast with us.
I don't know what. You know what made me giggle a lot was when he commented someone commented about Fab School, and your comment below it was just, if I had $1 for every time Fab School was getting started up, I'd have at least $5, because it's very true. But I just thought that was really fucking good. I'd have at least $5 because they announce it. I feel like every 3 to 5 months, it's just like Fab School. It's good. It's
I don't know.
Shit. Hopefully they do start it up.
So I guess if you're sponsored by Dragon Shields, you win national championships. You don't need Fab School. You just need to get sponsored by Dragon Shields, and you will win the national championship. That's a proven fact.
I give testament to. I don't know. The thing is they fucking 3 of them won their respective national championship.
All of them.
There's just 3 people on Team Dragon Shield?
Yeah, just 3.
Well, I mean, when you're only going to have 3 people, like, you're not even playing the odds at that point. Like, you're just... That's impressive. It's good.
It's insanity. Is what it is. So, yeah. So, just go ahead and email. I heard Dragon Shields open up. They're looking for more players. So, go ahead and just email their support line telling them and send a full resume to them to try to get on their team Dragon Shield, because that's how you win national championships. Something in the sleeves, I guess. So yeah, so just go ahead and email them. You have to look on their website for that information. So that's it's just a crazy world of nationals. Even Alexi in Taiwan, an 89% Taiwan, Lexi out of nowhere wins it. 5-1-1 Icelanders, Oldhams. So just a good mix of winners. Breyer won like 3 or 4. It's really weird just because the numbers of people at each one. You have like Ireland, who's under 20, Slovakia. Didn't know Slovakia had a national championship. They had 19 people show up for theirs. Sweden, 30. It's just crazy that this game has this many national championships now.
7 listeners in Sweden. All right, ready?
What about Ireland? Did you ever find out Ireland?
Yeah, I'm looking right now. We have 15 listeners from unknown regions. No idea, but we have
they don't know if they don't want to.
I think it's probably like some like blocked, like they blocked that data or something on their end. But 1 Romania, 1 Argentina, 1 Austria, 1 Ecuador, 1 France, 1 Hong Kong. That hurts a little bit. Not that like, but like Hong Kong's pretty popular.
That's a language barrier. We're just gonna chalk that up to language barrier. How many people are in Hong Kong?
This one's even worse. 1 in India. Like that's pretty massive.
But are they playing in India? How do we even have a person in India listening?
I'll be honest, it's probably the guy that keeps calling me, asking me to help bail him out of prison because he was wrongfully convicted.
Yeah.
He needs my help. Then we got 1 in Italy, 1 in Albania, 1 in Mexico, 1 in the Netherlands. Okay, ready? These are all 1. Panama, Philippines, Iceland, 3 in Finland, 4 in Singapore, 5 in Belgium. This is super not interesting, so I regret doing this.
Just give me Ireland. I just want to know
There's
Ireland.
no Ireland. It's not even listed as like a place.
So we can shit on Ireland all we want then in this, and nobody even cares because nobody listens from there.
Nope.
How about Taiwan? Do we have anything from Taiwan?
Taiwan.
That was a bigger one, 89 people.
Yeah, no one in Taiwan.
Wow.
Yep.
You know what's impressive? And I know a lot of this is people that didn't make day 2, but the Nats gets 435, and then the next day the calling gets 452.
Got to qualify for Nats.
Well, I understand that, but I'm saying that's a lot of people in back-to-back tournaments.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Only half of those people are coming from from the nationals that do bad. So that's a lot of people once again in town. I did see. I want to switch my focus to Twitter.
Oh please do.
Somebody I saw another post today about games dead and pictures. Does anybody even say that anymore? Does anybody even say like this game is dead? Like I've literally just only people who are trying to make a point it's not dead say
they only
game's
say
not dead.
They say it facetiously like this or
but like why nobody even says it, so we can just drop the whole game is dead because nobody says that anymore. Like it's obviously not. It's flourishing well. It's doing well.
That's okay. So I kind of also disagree with the use of that term pretty much across the board. Like game's dead. Is it actually dead? Because then, okay, say game's dead. Destiny, dead. Game's dead.
Well, that's legitimately dead. Yep, I'll agree with that.
Right.
They stopped making it.
It's no longer being made or supported by the company.
You know what, though? What's the name?
That was a very Trump gesture. Like, you know what? Like,
it's huge. It was huge. It's gone. It's huge.
It's huge.
Oh, also on Twitter. So Tim Allen made a Twitter joke making fun of Biden.
Oh, easy
like
to do.
Saying he was on 60 Minutes and asked how long the show is or something like that. Pretty funny, right?
Yeah.
And I retweeted that and I lost 3 followers immediately. I literally, because I always like to see like, so
Yeah.
number one, to if you listen and you no longer follow me from Twitter, if you watched that episode and our president of the United States in that episode, you'd be like, no, this guy cannot be president. He can't finish a complete sentence and was stuttering for half of his responses.
Is this
I'm
a
sorry.
Between Two Ferns? Is this a Between Two Ferns episode? Like, what's happening right now?
It was bad. It was bad. So
Yeah,
I thought it was
was
funny.
rough.
Well, so then Tim Allen gets flack. I'm like, why is it okay for people to make fun of one and not the other? Because they both deservingly, and that'd be Trump and Biden, both equally earn the respect of being made fun of.
I think so. This is what I think it is. I think that there are small, like, vocal minorities on both sides that when their side is made fun of, they get butthurt about it. Like, I know a lot of people that are lean the same direction as us, like left-ish. You know what I mean? Like more liberal.
Not leftish.
I know. Yeah,
I'm very moderate
you're
to the right.
yes, libertarian. I know.
Yes.
But
Thank you.
yeah,
Would never call myself Republican because that's ugh.
Yeah, no,
But can't we all just agree?
Anyways,
that
there are people that fucking take it. Like, yeah, that's funny. Biden's a fucking, he can't put sentences together. I get that. Like, you know, I didn't vote for him, but that's fine. Like, that's
I just,
fine to make
why
fun
can't
of.
we all agree that we have a minimum of 35 to run for president? Can we please put a maximum on that? Like, for the love of God, the 2 men running were way too old. When your body starts to go, you know what I mean? We always think of as you get older, your body starts to deteriorate with time. But your brain also does. I mean, I think about if I had played this card game in my lower 20s, how much better at this game I would be. Like it would be
that.
100%. 100%. It's like,
if you're going off like not actually you in your actual 20s, because like you would have been focused on other shit. You didn't care about card games.
that's what I'm saying. I was focused on their shit and didn't care about card games.
Yeah.
But if I did play card games back then, I would have been a hell of a lot better player than I am now. Yeah. Because I could pick up and do just about anything from working on cars, racing motorcycles, anything I did, I could do it well back then because you pick it up. And as you go with age, it's harder and harder. I make mistakes that you realize 30 seconds later in a card game, like just a brain shit. It's just what just happened to me. And then you put that in a level of 2 men that are in their mid 70s running for president that by the time they're out, they don't know, literally.
All right.
Don't know their ass.
I'm going to save this because we're just getting into like political commentary at this point. We should wrap it back in.
Commentary is against both. And no, it's all about Twitter. It's all about Twitter.
That's where it was. That's where we deviated and went off the rails.
And we're going to continue on Twitter. I got more Twitter. Twitter.
I want to hear it.
So the next one, this was pretty interesting. And if somebody puts it on Twitter, it is now public information and can read it and do with whatever I want. Correct? Is that a fair statement?
Sure.
Right. So Tyler Horsepool got a match loss at Nationals. And it was because he hinted in a way to have his opponent concede. In round 7 versus Viserai, and he wrote a big thing up, and I'm just going to paraphrase some of it because there's really interesting points on this that is good discussion. His opponent had 5 cards left, 20 life, while he was at 8 life. He had been playing slower the whole beginning of the round. The Viserai player, he doesn't name them, which I agree. You don't name people with this. And Tyler was playing fast. And here's fallacy number 1. And I think Nick Butcher, I don't know if anybody's heard of him. He was going to do his Fab School thing a while back. But anyway, Nick Butcher did a funny meme about this where Oldhim player does his thing, and then the guy thinks, what do I want to do? Doesn't block, and then scar for scar. It's really hilarious, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the fallacy is that Oldhim is slow. No, not always. A lot of Oldhim players play very, very fast, and it's the person on the other side that's taking up the time. So let's stop saying Oldhim slow, because it's so false. We've tested so many games where we can get 2-3 cycles in with Guardians and still finish in 35 minutes in a game. So it's not Oldhim that's slow. So end game gets down. At 3 cards, around 12-ish life, there was 30 seconds. I wanted to know that he didn't need to make himself miserable, and said the comment that you can call a judge if you want to. So that was what was the implied concession. Is Tyler saying to him, you can call a judge if you want to. Call the judge. First he said no, then he did. Call a judge. They called a head judge over, talked about it, and was told that he gets a match disqualification for asking for a concession.
I did not know about this.
Yep. So this is Tyler posted about all this, and this is his words that I'm reading. So he goes, I did in fact introduce the idea of conceding was possible to my opponent, and this can be a form of asking. Those are the rules. While I wasn't trying to get my opponent to concede, which I don't think he was. Obviously, that's an opinion. In my mind, I completely understand why I got given the game loss. So he talked to his opponent after the ruling, and he knew the person played in the same state as him. And the opponent said he wanted to get a draw out of the game because he said decks that are trying to fatigue deserve to draw. There's fallacy number 2 is new Oldhim isn't always trying to fatigue. They're going to smash you in the face. So that's not always the truth. They just block very well. And decks that are trying to attack deserve extra time to think out their attacks, which is completely this is what his opponent said to him.
Oh man, the fact that Tyler got a game loss to this fucking twat. That hurts my heart.
So he doesn't agree to any reasons. Neither do I. But he goes, what is slow play? So here's where the real question comes in, because he did not call the judge on his opponent for slow play. And so his question is, what is slow play? I've asked many judges, competitive player, and no one is able to give me a straightforward answer. And I have watched games playing against Oldhim, and I actually did it during Nationals, where a person takes a minute and a half for one attack. I think that's too long, a minute and a half.
Yeah, like if you're practiced, you don't need a minute and a half for an attack. Like because I mean, what are you thinking?
When you draw up your card, the first thing you look at least in my head, is when I draw them up, is I prioritize my number 1 card in that 4-card hand, right?
So that's like like that is like the basics of it, right? But like I would say that for your average player, there's like 2 stages to evaluating and thinking, what am I going to block? What am I going to take? And that is, what do I have in my hand that's not needed for, there's usually like a break point with what you have in your hand, where it's like, if I lose 2 cards, I go from outputting 15 damage to outputting 6 damage because I need these 2 cards to whatever, right? There's usually a break point where like your output drastically drops. Typically, I don't know, that's like in the decks that I play, it typically is. But like you're evaluating, like, am I going to take this, or am I going to save for what he might have in the rest of his hand? And like, I can't imagine, like, unless it's like late game and you're like really crunching numbers and like looking through their discard, what they have and what they could have left to threaten you with, and you're like you're gonna draw and you're looking through yours to see what you got left in deck, but that doesn't really, like, I could see maybe like a minute and a half to 2 minutes, maybe. But like that's not like an every turn thing. But it is. Like in reality it is, but it shouldn't be. Like you don't Oldhim swings hammer at you turn 2, like you don't need to take a minute to like think through that.
Which I have seen that take upwards of 30 seconds. Yeah. That if it takes you 30 seconds for a ice hammer, which you should know if practice with Oldhim being in the meta, and there'll be negative comments about this, but you should. I know maybe I play too fast sometimes. That's fine, but I don't draw with those decks. Usually if I do draw, it's because the other person I'm playing against is taking their sweet old time. Right?
Yeah.
So regardless, we both agree with Tyler's disagreement of theirs. And then he goes, what is the purpose of the concession rules written? So what is the purpose? Which is a great question. Why? What is the purpose that you can't ask for a concession? What would be the purpose of that? What
I think
from a game?
I think that it is because at middling levels of play to local levels of play, there are strong-willed individuals that could make feel bad or put an undue pressure on their opponent, and the opponent would have a negative experience because of it.
Okay. So he says if they're behind the concession rule, then why do they keep changing? Because they have changed it several times. Specifically, when it gets to time, you can now concede, but only before you take a game action. So that's kind of weird.
To stop you from being like, I'll concede if I draw bad off of this 3 of a kind.
And then he said, shouldn't match loss be indicative of something nefarious? And we've talked about this in the past I mean, I got an IP3 for something that didn't seem crazy. We've seen people get eliminated from tournaments for things. This is more of a issue with judges using wrong. I don't know if there's a bias or what.
I don't think it's bias. I think that the issue is that a match loss, like I think that there's a difference between like rules being implemented and punishments. And I view a match loss as a punishment. Like you did something bad and you now just get the loss. Like it's not a penalty. It's not a rules violation. It's not like, I mean, it is, but like it's not something that like you're getting a slap on the wrist. Like you are being punished now for doing something worthy of this. And I don't think, I mean, use fucking discretion.
Well, but here's the problem is that they're not using discretion because the fact that so I like his word nefarious. I'm kind of stuck on it. It was a great word, Tyler. I don't know if he listens to us, but if you do, that was a great word. The way he asked, if that's truly the way he asked, or just didn't even really bring it up, didn't pressure. I could see if he's like, you should concede. Like if he asks the guy and keeps asking, that's nefarious and you deserve a game loss, right? If you pressure and ask. But if you say something simple, you want to call a judge, and that's why you get, I mean, there was nothing, like it's barely hinting at it. Like, I mean,
the thing is too, is like I will get lambasted for this most likely, but dude, kind of going back to our whole draft table talk conversation, at this level of play, like if it's beyond round 5 and you're still in like the X and 1, X and 2, like you're doing well, like fuck it, man. Just watch professional poker and watch, like, Google like loudmouth professional poker and just watch what the rigmarole they put each other through. It's like we're playing for money, like it's a competitive thing. Fucking big boy rules. If someone says, hey, take a match loss, hey, take this match loss, just be like, no. And I'm a professional, whatever. Like I'm not
pro.
gonna, I'm a pro. I'm not gonna take this. You know what I mean? Like at a certain level.
I told you this before in bass fishing. So I used to do bass fishing tournaments all the time, right? Do you know what a pro bass fisherman is? A guy with an entry fee in a bass boat. That's a professional bass fisherman. So a pro card player is a guy with an entry fee in a deck of cards.
That's kind of what I'm trying to say though, is like if you are entering these waters, like you're gonna meet people that are gonna be great to play. And it's gonna be fine. And you're gonna meet assholes that are there to try and like get the wins. And like that is just the nature of playing at the high level. They want it to not be, right? But all of these rules, I think, should be in place and should protect the casual local level of play, because you don't want sharks going around ruining locals.
No, but at nationals, I agree with you 100%.
Yes.
100%. Fucking pull your diaper off, all right? For the love of God. It's you said it right. It's a big boy. If you can't take that shit, you're exactly right with the poker players. They're playing for millions of dollars. This is not playing for millions of dollars, and they can say so much. And I'm not saying we need to turn this into where you're trash talking, but if you can't banter a little bit at the table, it's just the pussification of the world that we're in right now. Sorry to use that word, but I'm going to. That's where we're at.
That's
and
sexist. The softening.
It's not what we're doing. We just let's play cards. Just no. It's
no.
Like you said.
I think I would say that like they are worried. DQ is
ridiculous.
Yep. Well,
we're
getting a match loss.
So I'm going to go on to his next point. 5-6 people were DQ'd at U.S. Nationals over concession rules, one way or another. Las Vegas calling world premiere, which you were at, 5-6 teams got DQ'd over mark card policy for running foils. I'm just trying to see if there's anything else. I mean, I don't like. He talks about wanting someone to draw because of their deck choice. Is the same reason like they called it Cheerios Bry or you know what I mean? There's other decks that are brainless that you just you vomit out your hand for attacks, which sometimes is easier to play than a second cycle deck, which you're setting up your deck to punish someone. We're actually playing cards and paying attention to their pitch stack, paying attention to your pitch stack, and not just taking the hand of cards you have and just throwing it at them.
So what I want to say about that thought process, that whoever this opponent was playing Tyler Hostable, like, that's your opinion. It's not accurate. And I think that a lot of people would argue that it's the opposite. It's wrong. But that's just your opinion. And the fact that you holding that opinion costed somebody a match loss because you have this shitty attitude towards the deck that they were playing kind of tells me that they don't respect the game in a way. I don't know how else to like make it broad picture, but like part of the game is understanding that there's lots of different archetypes and accepting the different archetypes and knowing how to play into the different archetypes, and that each archetype has its strengths and weaknesses. And the fact that you're just like, I think that you deserve to draw. All of them deserve to draw. It's like, cool. Well, tell me that you were kind of a shithead and not a great player without telling me you're kind of a shithead and not a great player. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, so it sucks that that resulted in Tyler Horspool getting the match loss, but also that's kind of the big boy rules. It's like, he's a shitty person. You're going to play shitty people. And I think that if there's a lesson taken away from this, I really hope that it's just that, because you're not going to change the shitty people, right? I hope that Tyler's just like, cool, I'm never even broaching this subject again. I don't give a shit if it's painful for him, which is just kind of where it has to be in the realm of big boy rules. If you're going to have people like that.
Yeah, he just put it out there as like, here's my opinion. I can see the frustration there. Yes, and obviously
absolutely frustration is warranted. But I think that I think that the important takeaway is that you need to just acknowledge that people can be shitty. And if that means that we're all playing big boy rules here, fine. That's the lake that we're in. And if you want to go fishing for some bass, then you gotta play by the rules. Did I wrap that in right? Did I wrap that in right?
And I'll give you some spots of what to do there. But obviously I'm on the extreme where I don't mind table talk in a game. I like it. I love banter, fun jabbing banter at your opponent while they jab at you. I enjoy that when I play cards.
And I would like to point out that I think I would suffer from this. Like I would like it is not, if I was just looking at this selfishly from me and what's good for me, having people like that will not help me play better. I'm not the type of person to capitalize on this type of thing. This is not a good thing for me if this is becoming the norm.
No, you're not a talk person while you play. You're very into what's going on.
I'm not gonna be an asshole. I'm not gonna be like, oh dude, such a shit fucking move. Like, you know what I mean? Like if you watch like poker shit talk, like it actually
I've literally said that in a match jokingly to my opponent on multiple occasions, and we both laugh. Like
yes.
when they throw like you're playing and they throw a huge attack, you'd be like, why the fuck would you do that? Why would that's an asshole move right there. Why would you do that?
That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about like someone seriously like just digging at you and digging at you and digging at you and like
And I'm
really
not
getting in
saying,
your head. But
I don't like
people,
that.
I'm saying that I would fucking hate that and I would play worse because of it and I wouldn't do it to the other person, and I still think it should be a thing. I think that should exist because it's fucking big boy rules.
No, I wouldn't mind a little bit more open dialogue, I'll call it, while playing someone. I don't mind that. I don't mind the banter back and forth. For one, it keeps your brain going good for me. I love
Yes.
the back and forth.
Makes it more
So,
enjoyable. And I think that
yeah.
the existence of that, just saying fair game, it's nationals, like it's qualifier level, fair game, you guys say whatever you want to each other, that opens the door to us being able to do like our type of like banter and bullshit, which is good.
Yes.
And you're gonna hit
Which
those
is fun,
people.
which is fun banter.
Yes,
If
that is fun.
a lot of people don't understand it's joking all the time, but you know, locals here, I can do it because people know me, and I can have fun when I sit across from someone. I can talk a lot of trash in a fun way that we both enjoy.
Dude, talking shit in draft is like one of my favorite things ever to do.
Can't do it, and it sucks.
It's like it's so much fun to be sitting across from like a guy that you know what they're probably going to take, and the whole time you're just like, oh dude, you should probably just swerve because I just snagged the card you want. Like that type of shit is so much fucking fun because you don't know what they're on and you're just guessing, and it's all just for fun.
And we've heard the pros and cons of why you can't do that, but if you do a draft calling, the final 8 table, because you've made it to the final 8, it should be open game, say whatever you want, because
That would be so entertaining.
you've made it to the top 8. So I don't care if your friend is right next to you and your table talking to your friend, you both made it to the top 8. You've earned that right to have that table talk. I would love it if it was no holds bar, and maybe we just run a tournament like that. Well, we do that when it's locals. We talk shit.
Say that's
time.
what it is the whole
Yeah,
time.
that's what we do anyway. So I guess I don't know why, but I would love to see a national tournament that if you get to the top 8, you can put your sunglasses on, like have fun with it. You know what I mean? Just have some fun with that level. And some people are like, well, that's not fun. Yeah, well, I mean, you're not fun. Yeah, I said it. You're not fun.
You gotta look.
I don't know.
Just look up Eric Molina, EricMolina. Eric Molina poker. Just YouTube that.
Well, I've seen enough of the old school poker. Like when I played back in the early 2000s, I played a ton of poker. Like a lot of the bad boys of poker were from then. That just shit they would say was ridiculous, but it was entertaining. And they're paying $1 million and nobody cared because they like to watch it.
Don't have the rules. It's important for like not ruining local experiences, casual game nights.
Because in the local ones is where more of this stuff happens, and we have I love locals because it's so much fun and we can have fun. Like, yeah, I've never had a complaint against me ever playing at locals because we always have fun. And when I talk shit about myself, talk shit about you, talk shit about both our plays. We just have fun. Just have fun. That's the true meaning of flesh and blood. Is to have fun. You know, before we exit tonight, we're getting close to the holiday season around here at Outcast Haven's headquarters, and Dane has brought to my attention a glorious holiday movie that I think you should share with our listeners, because I'm going to hold off watching it until after Thanksgiving, because that's when I officially start watching Christmas movies.
Yep.
So I'm excited but give us a little hint of what
It's
this
not
movie
even a
is.
new movie. It's not even like releasing this year or anything. It's years
When
old.
is it from?
2020, I think.
Okay, it's a couple years
But
old.
but it's called Fatman.
Oh,
Just it's fucking amazing. My brother sent it to me.
who's the
And
lead actor playing
the,
Fatman?
the lead actor is Mel Gibson.
Oh, it's so good.
Okay. And so you've got Mel Gibson playing Santa Claus. And I literally will not be able to do this movie justice. Basically, a kid gets coal.
Fatman.
A kid gets coal for Christmas. He's a rich, spoiled brat. Hires like a contractor to kill Santa Claus.
To kill the Fat Man.
To kill the Fat Man.
I'm so excited.
It's just
movie.
it's like
I'm so excited.
Fucking John Wick, but it at one point it's like Mel Gibson's line is like, "You think I got this job because I'm fat and jolly?" And just like cocks his shotgun. It's like, Jesus Christ. It's fucking wild. It's like the same if you were around when we were talking about Pig. Like the same, I get that same sense. I haven't seen it either, but I had that same sense of excitement with Pig.
With this, I'm really excited for because I'm going to surprise the family with it. I'm not even going to tell them what it is.
Oh, that's great. Mason's going to fucking love it.
She'll love it for sure. Yeah. It'll be an instant hit.
Yeah, it's going to be good. But yeah, anything else?
No, that's all I got. Oh, God, cut this to the beginning. This weekend, if the internet gods are with us, we will be streaming Battlehard in Minneapolis on Saturday. If the internet gods provide us the speed and the bandwidth to stream it to the world.
No, we're gonna be more confident than that because we've got like hundreds of feet of hardwire, so we'll run that shit to the Denny's next door if we have to. Like we're fucking
downtown Minneapolis, like 4 miles to the nearest Denny's.
Whatever, you know what I mean? No, we are streaming Saturday. We're streaming the Battle Hardened. I'm finishing putting together the digital assets for it, and Blake and another local guy, Body, who's been on the channel, he's going to be commentating with some guest commentators throughout the day. So not to talk it up too much, but
I'm probably going to scrub out, so I'll probably be on there at some point. And you're going to be judging it, right? You're the judge?
Yeah, I'm judging Saturday.
Are you wearing a yellow shirt?
No.
Okay, well, I'm just making sure. I might
actually go and buy a yellow shirt that's just unrelated to judging, just to have a yellow shirt on while I'm judging, just for you.
Jesus Christ, don't do that. It'll bring out the devil in you. The evil will come out.
Pull up your mask.
Oh, can I end on a funny story?
Yeah, of course.
So Mason's got fall lacrosse. Oh, this is so good. So they're playing a game. And he gets called for a ward penalty for like charging guy. And it happens to us. I'm like, that's a ward. That's all I said, right? Yelled, that's a ward. Mm-hmm. The ref looks at me and goes, "Hey, you think I'm out? I don't have to be out here." Like, that's all I said. I don't have to be out here. You want to come do this? I'm like, yeah, I would love to. Yeah, I'll come ref it. So he turns and walks away, right? That's all I said. Wasn't yelling at him, just a general comment, not talking bad to the ref.
What did you say? Later, a ward?
Yeah, it's when you push off. Okay. They called Mason on it, and it wasn't. And then I'm like, well, you just gotta.
It's a ward.
You gotta call it. So then, like 5 minutes later, they were wanting, and it was an illegal screen. The guy moved and was moving when he hit the kid. Very like both of them were looking. I go, that's an illegal screen. The fucking ref loses his mind. Comes over. Starts saying just like, that's enough. That's enough. Well, then 2 other dads in front of me are like, start getting it at with the ref. Then some mom over here starts yelling and bitching over from the other team. And like, I said nothing, just like two words, basically. Not a big deal. You usually say that at any game. The refs don't even care. They just go about their business.
Well, I mean, that's
because you're not, I'm not bad mouthing anybody. Yeah. You're not saying anything wrong. You're just commentating. I harassed Mason in that game, like yelling funny shit at Mason more than that. Like, why'd you do that? Well, just funny shit like that. Well, then she starts bitching. I'm like, whoa, slow down, Karen. Right? That's all I said. Well, then the other two dads get into it and start calling her Karen, and then getting it with the ref, and then they're calling each other fat asses, the ref and one of the parent, right? They both get booted. I'm back there laughing my ass off because I started it essentially because a ref had a bad day. And then I get a text from one of the dads. He's like, yeah, that Karen, she called the league, so we can't go on Sunday to another game. I'm like, I feel a little bit bad. I feel a little dirty.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Do you play pickleball with those guys?
Oh, half of them, yes.
I was gonna say that's for sure like high school clique shit. Like listening to how like they came in and were like,
funny because the one dad we coached with, and we've had altercations with other coaches that would be yelling stuff, and I'd say, hey, I use typical Jason loud ass, and then he would always step in and be the one that gets in trouble. I'm like, Todd, this is like the third time you've gotten in trouble for me. So that was awesome. So that's me, and hey, I didn't do anything bad. I wasn't yelling profanities at the refs. I wasn't even trying to start anything.
I will say though that I feel like you are very good at picking your moments. I feel like after a lifetime of like pushing buttons and like being loud, I feel like you probably have got like an ability, even if you're not aware of it, to like just really fucking 3 words just to fucking burp and like just set people off.
I probably go, that's an illegal screen. There's probably a tone.
Yep.
But I wasn't yelling at kids, wasn't yelling at refs. And then the crazy part is, this is how the game ends. The game ends with our goalie coming out with the ball, getting hit in the back by their defenseman. Our defenseman comes over, rails him down, and keeps hitting him all the way down on the ground. Don't fucking touch my goalie. That kid comes up, grabs our kid's face mask, throws his helmet off. The whistle blows. Game over. They all walk and shake hands. That was the game. It was the greatest lacrosse game I've ever been to.
That's awesome. I mean, that's just good. Like, I don't know anything about lacrosse, but like when it comes to hockey, like, yeah, you don't fucking touch our goalie.
Touch the goalie.
Yeah.
Not from the back like that. Just you don't cross check in the back. So.
Yep.
Anyways, so that was my weekend. So
very
that's
good.
all I got.
Very, very good
that's
story.
At the end. So if people are here at the end, they like the banter for that.
Little bonus. Love it. All right. Well, thank you everybody for joining us. It's good to be back. If you're not aware, I did spend the last like 6 days in Montana, so I have been totally out of the loop. Thank you, Jason, for carrying this as I played catch up on the Nationals and all the data. And thank you all for joining us. And we will be seeing you Saturday for that Battle Hardened live stream. And look forward to chatting with you all then. Peace.